All right. All right, guys, welcome to another Charts and Chat. Happy to see familiar faces. I got very relaxing music going on. I wish I could share. Next time I'll look to share it. Because I found out yesterday that if you chart under relaxing music, right now jazz, it helps a lot. You do it with a little more clarity. Let's see, 10 people in. It's great. I'm gonna have chat on the side. We're gonna go towards doing futures from scratch, like if we never seen them before. So this was our last charts and chat. I've been adding levels, right? But we're gonna do a little bit of a clear set. Boom. Eh, we have our clean chart. We're gonna go from here. We look at sectors and everything, and let's try to do a little bit of quick charting. I think it's basic TA, so for the people that are unfamiliar how we chart this basic support resistance trend lines, important levels and whatnot, right? Um, so we're gonna start with ES futures, the minis, the S&P minis, right? I don't know if it's you guys find it difficult to trade lately, but I think we can find something here. So if you notice on my charts, I keep these two moving averages, and just for reference, this is the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA. I use them a lot. I don't exclusively trade off of them, but you can see that a lot of the times we have interaction with areas like this, and we have interactions with areas like this. I mean, it's so interactions with areas like this and whatnot like this, you know? So I just like to use it a lot. And it's gonna be one of my main focus this charting session because we are looking to head towards the 20 EMA. So one of the things that I use a lot is that the EMAs don't have to hit, like if you were to look at this right now, like let's say that this kind of looks like this, right? That you drop, try to make a bottom, it looks like you're gonna rebound and then fail, right? We haven't failed right here. It looks like we're having a rebound, but you can at least aim when you're something like this, you're at least aiming for something like a 20 EMA, right? And in this time, it did not hit. It fell and it dropped and it hit later on the session, on later sessions right here. So when you're taking this approach of what could be the next thing to come up with, which would be the 20, just don't think that this could have a straight green candle towards the 20 like this. It could, yes, it could. It's actually one of the triggers to go long about this highs and go long into the 20. But you have to keep in mind that this could stay chopways like this for a while until the 20 catches up, right? Until this thing just goes further down like this and it catches up somewhere right here, right? So we could still be chopping on this area until then. A lot of people are calling for dropping up to 3,500, which I think is very possible. It's one of my downside targets. But also now are people calling for a full on reversal? Like it's just let's stay within our lanes and actually be objective on this area, right? So let's start off with the weekly right here. I'm gonna start off with the weekly right here. And just so you know, I'm a big user of actually the monthly. I'm a big user of retracements, right? Fibonacci retracements. So we're just gonna get our COVID lows to all-time highs. I just want you to guys recognize that we have tag on the previous month, the 32 retracement. That was a very good indication of going long right here, or stop shorting right here. Now that we cross below, this one is in play, right? This one is in play. So this is one of the, like that. That's why I agree with a lot of people that are calling for 3,500 because 34.94.50 is the 50% retracement. And we'll see, right? We'll see. This could very well be the next level to target. Now, let's say that we're basing ourselves on monthly candles. Really, even a break of this level does not mean anything unless you close a candle underneath it. So June is coming up to an end next week. Next week on Thursday, we'll know where this candle closes and we'll have a little bit of clarity. Like if it closes below this level, next month, if it hasn't touched this by next week, next month, we could be here, right? It could be the next target for next month. And we'll just play accordingly, right? So, and it says right here that the 200 SMA on the SPX is 3,500. Yeah, I actually don't think that you have to use specifically an EMA or an SMA. You just have to use the anything that's been hitting before in the past, you know. Let's talk about like the monthly 20. A lot of the dips on the monthly 20 get bought up, if you guys notice. So now that we're below it, actually, we're looking at a major break, right? Major break of the 20. Where does that gets us to another area that gets bought up, which is a 50 on the monthly. The COVID is a little bit of a special low. There was a lot of fear during that drop. But given that we have picked up the market on the 50, I think, and actually let's go for the 200 real quick. Look at this low right here, the 200, 200. So when thing gets extreme, that's we look at the 200, but this is just too far, right? We're day trading right now and probably looking only for fight opportunities. So let's stick right here. So 3,500 will be the next target, monthly, basing ourselves monthly. So you're just gonna put a level right here. Gonna tag it real quick. 50% tracement from COVID. Boom, on the right? Just gonna keep it like that. We're gonna get this level right here. We know that it's a low right here. So we're just gonna delete this right here. We're gonna put this low along with this low. This being 3807.50. Let's see, 3807.50. And last month low on the right. And this is important, guys. You guys will see on the daily. So this is how we have on the monthly. Let's go to a weekly now. So we got this going on now. Like I say, I use retracements a lot. So you guys see the magic right here. This from this high to this low. We ended up selling close to a 50% retracement. That's notable. Probably this wasn't like yeah, goes in line. So we're just gonna go anchor right here to the next weekly high to the last weekly low and go from there, right? So our next level to mark is this one right here, which is the 32 retracement, the 50, and the 618. All right, go from here. All right, so these levels are gonna be a little bit important. Last month low is a little more important, so I'm just gonna put a yellow right here. 32 retracement. We're just gonna mark it on our charts right here. Retracement. Weekly. Boom. Oops, I forgot to put it on the right. Wait, okay. Says 50% retracement weekly. All right, the right, and we're gonna go right here. 618 retracement weekly. Boom, on the right. All right, we got our retracements on the weekly. Now we're gonna go to the daily. Oh, well, actually, let's go to the weekly real quick. Let's identify our trend lines real quick. So just gonna go from this high all the way to this high. So we're gonna keep this trend line right here. Okay. All right. We're gonna do that trend line. Let's see what trend line this trend line has been helping me a lot actually lately. This one right here. So we just for the future reference, because I don't think we're gonna hit anything on extend to the right. And I'll suggest you guys, if you're charting right now, if you have a charting software, to follow it along. So you guys are familiar with the charting method, retracements, levels on the weekly, monthly, trend lines. Let's go to the daily. All right. All right. So it goes in line, right? Now there's no coincidence that the retracement right here, they go along with levels on the daily. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. We need to add a little more levels, like this action right here, which I think I'm gonna put all this on yellow real quick. I just like yellow. All right. Now this action right here, let's talk about the last few day sessions. Ignore this candle, it's just the overnight that is occurring right now. Today's session, in fact, ended up as an inside candle from yesterday's session, but it did not end as an inside candle on let me do a new drawing set. Actually, just ignore the drawings.
On the cash.
Yeah, on the cash session, we we actually ended up kind of inside. Yeah, I mean, yes, or actually marginally inside, or basically just a little poke. We ended up closing just a little poke. It's not technically an inside candle in the cash session, neither future sessions probably. I'll check it out. But I think the resistance is clear. I think if you think about it, like where you ended up right here, where you stop in the next day right here, the indication that if you trade some candle confirmation, some few minutes about this area, then you're good to go for the next one, which I will take it somewhere to this candle high right here, right? So just gonna go to our futures right now. It's on the cash session, right? So we're just gonna keep that in mind. Also keep in mind with this, have this gaps on fill on the cash session. So just go to futures and you can plug that in real quick. Going with the there's a gap right here on the futures. Let me see right here. Boom. Boom. We're gonna go to and delete. Yeah, I'm sorry. Get rid of the overnight session right here. Options, futures. If we're gonna get rid of the overnight, you guys gonna notice that the gap actually on the cash session extends all the way to here. All right. So we're just gonna keep that in mind. You know, I use shaded areas for gaps, right? So what we're gonna do. All right. Let's keep it like this. It's a little bit crowded, right? But remember that where the gap starts, it's a resistance support area. So meaning right here, where the other futures gaps starts, is gonna be another support resistance, and where the gap ends is gonna be another support resistance, and this one as well, right? So this candle right here and this candle right here. So that's what we got. We got our support resistances and we have our gap areas to fill. Does not mean anything that's gonna get filled. If anything, this is telling me how the market is broken, because the futures don't stay with unfilled gaps for long, ever, unless something's broken right now, like this. This was just a lot of selling, a lot of selling. It says, is it possible to end as an intake weekly candle? It is possible, very uncommon, very improbable. But it is possible, anything is possible. And actually on the daily candle, it's very rare to end as an inside candle on the daily. So statistically it's even more weird to get end as an inside candle on the weekly. So Fredo pointed out that we're still inside of the range. Like, let's say, just think about it statistically, the most probable outcome for this range to break out of the last week range, it will have to break to the upside. Unless the futures session end up deleting this whole thing and then we wake up tomorrow around this area, then the most likely outcome to break out the previous day weekly range will be to the downside. But at this point forward, like if you have this whole range from here to here, I mean, you're right here at the moment, right? So most likely, most probable scenario is that you break out of the weekly range to the upside. So at the moment we favor, there's no bias here. We don't do bias trading, but at the moment, trading, breaking out this range, it will be to the one. And just look back into history. Like, do you guys see an inside candle, any of this? Any of this? No, right here, no. Nothing. Nothing, nothing. Even by a small amount, right? Even by a small amount, the outside range, the range gets broken out. Even by a small amount, if you guys notice. So improbable, very uncommon. We can end up as one. So we're just gonna go from there, right? So most likely scenario, this breaks the last month low. We'll see if it does. Very important, right? The last month low is very important. And if it does, we're targeting this, the bottom of the gap. And if it goes even higher, what are we targeting? We're targeting the gap fill, which will be the daily 20 EMA. So I will actually take a short position. Let me text real quick that I'm busy. Yeah, if I don't text, my friend's gonna be calling onto you. Sorry. So where is the 20? 38.78. That's a lot of points to get, guys. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of gains on SPX, right? So we have mapped out the daily. I think it's very clear what we got. Let's now go for the hourly. Let's say. Let's do this. All right. So on the hourly, if you guys notice, there's like nothing on this area. Nothing. So, and actually, this is probably, I need to show extended hours. Sorry. All right. There's actually nothing on this area. There's just nothing. Like, be prepared that if we have start having candle closes above this right here, about the last month low, this probably gonna skyrocket into 38.50, 38.42, 38.43 right here, the bottom of the gap, right? Around that right there. I don't know exactly the number. We'll find out later. But right here, roughly right here, where the bottom of the gap of the cash session, right? So just gonna go and label this bottom of gap cash session. All right. We got this as an information, right? Like there's actually like a void right here with not a lot of trading action. And this can basically skyrocket. Today's action right here that we had intraday, if you guys are familiar with market internals, it basically went ballistic in terms of the ticks. Like ticks were hitting around the 900, 1000 mark, and what does that mean? That means that there's a lot of short covering. So if you don't think that there will be a lot more short covering right here, where the market skyrocket higher, it's gonna be quick. You gotta be ready, right? You're just gonna see, like, just think about it, like you had all this downtrend, and then what you have is that everybody gets so bearish and they start building short positions around this area, right? This whole shorting and shorting and shorting. You start squeezing out shorts, and that once you get out of the last month low, the it gets more intense on a short squeeze, right? So that's what we got. Now we have a couple of trend lines on the hourly that we have to keep in mind. Gonna use, see, let's see what I like. Let's see, I'm gonna be picky on this because it's not aligning. Yeah, we're gonna use this trend line. Makes the most sense on the downside. Keep it in mind on the hourly. And then we're gonna have on the upside, we actually had one on the upside today, by the way. Had from this high to this high. And what essentially happened right here, the last push, it was a break of that trend line. It's broken, so we're not gonna use it anymore. We're just gonna focus on this last swing, on that the last month low. That's gonna be the key indication, the last month low, right? So that's what we got. I think that's it. I think this covers the SPY. I think it's simplistic. It's objective. It's gonna be good. Let's see. Do we have questions on basic check or something or here? Minandi says probability of a squeeze overnight and open red tomorrow into flush. I'll say that if tomorrow opens gapped up, there's possibility of even going higher. I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And it says ascending wedge looks so obvious, it might do the opposite. Well, I think it's then don't try to play 4D chess on the market. A lot of people take that approach, right? Like, oh, it's so obvious it's not gonna happen. I do it all the time. But it's just don't base your trading decision on that. Just keep it in mind, right? Sometimes the obvious is what works. So let's see. That's what we got. 'Cause I'm trying to find a trend line to the top, but reality is this level. This is this level that I'm willing to market even with a dash line. And guys on the VIP room knows that if I put something on that dash line, it's very important. All right. Just gonna put this boom right here. Bottom of gap so I can be ready. And let's go actually take a look at the point of control today. We have it at 37, around 37.80. We are inside the value area. Actually, this is hard because it's included in Mondays, but 37, what did I say? 37.80, right? Just gonna put this right here. 37.80. POC. All right. So we're not in a bull market, guys. We're not. But let me tell you how the point of control works. And a lot of times, the virgin point of control, a lot of the times what happens is that you open it slightly higher than the previous point of control in the day. You dip. You guys remember like last year it was like and the prior year actually, a lot of the days were like a dip and rip. It was basically, right, you dip into a point of control and rip. So you just gotta keep it in mind, even though we're not in a bull market and this doesn't work usually late, as of late, but just gotta keep it in mind, right? Like if you open on a true gap, meaning that you are above the RTH high, you can possibly drop into the RTH high right here. Like let's say you open right here, you can drop into this and then bounce, or you can drop into this and cut through it and then head towards the point of control and then bounce. All right, so we'll see. All right, we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I favor the upside move. What was the last week? The last week high is this. Gonna move it right here. Gonna put a name on it. This is all on futures, remember guys? On the right. All right. So I'm gonna share this picture. On where do I share it, Alfonso? Market chat, basic chat.
What?
This picture right here.
On,
It's for people to have as a reference.
you can put it on, I think that the best way to put it is in the, what it's called, trading
Let's
floor,
put it on market
trading,
chat.
no, trading floor.
I cannot post on trading floor.
You can, yes.
No, I know this.
Now you can,
No, it doesn't let me. No me deja. It's.
okay,
I'm just gonna put it on market chat right now.
put our market chat and I'll post it there for you.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of zooming in for you guys and. And as you guys go, you have to add a little bit of levels, right? Like let's say that we ended up not breaking the last month low right here. You actually have to put something like this. This is gonna be a big level right here. You see this low right here, this low right here. This actually is if we have a trend line break, you head towards this low, you head towards this low right here, and then ultimately you hit to the last swing low right here. So actually, let me update those pictures. Let me delete them real quick. All right, because where I was just situating us to basically only to think of the bullseye, right? And that's not just the right approach. We just have to the last swing low. Just keep it as a level, keep this as a level. And then we'll do is take a picture of this. All right. And for courtesy, I'm gonna take a picture of just the levels where they can be seen clearly, the numbers and everything. If you guys want to plug them in, that'll be great. So basically, that's what you got, right? That's a good daily plan right here. Last swing low, break out of the last month low, head towards this, and possibly this into the last week low as well. All right. And if you break out of this trend line, you possibly go into the 3740, 3700, and 36, 39, 3640. All right. That's what we got. All right. Let's do NQ is gonna give me a little faster. So I just spent a little bit of time on that one.
David, we'll explain a little bit how do we use the ticks as just after Q finishes with NQ marking those levels, we could go to the specific questions as well as Minadi.
Yes.
Minadi wants some advice about Chewy. I'll work on some technical analysis on that and share it for you right away. Okay.
All right. All right. NQ did not reach this trend line seen before. All right. We're gonna go to this highs right here. Hence, look at this trend line break. Like trend line breaks don't really go that far, but it take you somewhere, right? Just like this, it went up this much, right? So we're just gonna have this new trend line break. It's gonna be a major one. Look at this. It's beautiful. Actually, it will be something that will favor to the upside if we end up breaking out of this consolidation area. So same area right here. This is gonna be an important level. Just like with the spies. We can head towards the daily 20. It has been resistance before. So and support, so we can definitely hit this as resistance again. Breaking out of this. Now take a look at the weekly real quick. We're in the inside range, most likely. We break out of this range to the outside. Let's see a retracement on the daily. All right. We started a downtrend off of this day into this low. So right now we're looking at a rejection of the 32, but we can basically head towards the 50 right here. The 618. And so on, right? Let's do placement daily on the right, boom. Oops. Come on. Here. All right. We also have a steep uptrend. Same idea, right? The two markets are very similar, and that's, you guys know why, right? The technology is such a heavily weighted sector on the S&P that technology doesn't go, the S&P doesn't go neither. Just have this low right here, this low right here, this one, and the last swing low right here. I will target, like, let's say if you break out of this big support resistance right here, I will target something up around the daily 20, and I will target something on this trend line. And possibly aim a short at this trend line. That will be the best place to short probably. Most likely. And most likely the weekly 20s risk far. So it's a little faster, right? Just did this faster, and I'm pretty sure there's also futures gaps. Right here, there's one. It's a very small one, but it's one. Possible fill of that gap, and if we look at the no overnight session, we're gonna have a gap right here. All right, so just gonna place those levels, right? And make sure you understand this is a cash session gap, and this is a futures session gap, along with a cash session, obviously. And let's see. All right, so you got mapped out what you need to know right here. Very clear. Big resistance right here, break out of this, fill of the gap. Well, first resistance will be the top of the gap. Then the bottom of the gap, then the top of the gap, make a gap fill, and the daily 20, and then the trend line, right? So you work level by level, and you have to make a trading decision every time you hit one of those, like, okay, we broke out of this. Do I sell into this, my calls, or do I short this? Most likely, best idea scenario is to join the break, sell into those levels. If you are in before those levels, the stop loss or break even. And then don't try to hero past this daily 20. And if it does going out more than this, head towards the trend line. But looking at the daily range, I mean, it will take more than one session, right? Unless it goes parabolic crazy, right? Could very well go. All right.
For the S&Ps, we have 50 points, $50 expected move for tomorrow still.
Okay, we have $50 expected move. We close at 37.48, so not a lot of room.
Yeah, like 48, 45.
Yeah. 38.45, you mean?
38, yeah. Of
38,
course.
45. So that will be the bottom of the gap. So
Yeah.
it makes total sense if the expected move is up to here, right? The same is confluence, right? You have the bottom of the gap right here, and you have the expected move on futures right here.
Yeah, and there is a big chart there.
Yeah.
There. I don't know if you can put a LI so I can explain.
Yeah. Let's do a lie real quick.
And
That's right. That's right.
and the reason that I took it yesterday was extended on the 4 EMA on the daily. So I was playing the extension. Cube doesn't use the 4
I'll put the
EMA a
4. I'll
lot,
put the
but
4 right
he's
here.
gonna put it in yellow
Right here.
for me,
Okay, I'll put it in yellow.
so he can. So if you can see, I mean, we opened with a very important gap up today. So, and we had some resistance exactly where the doji can, it's forming. So I took a short around that area, expecting for the underline to fill that gap towards the 4 EMA. Unfortunately, when the market rallied, didn't work. But for tomorrow, looks even better than today, right? For that chart. So I think that breaking the low of that candle, which is I put you to the level there, 38.42. That's a short at least to fill the gap. And then see where the 4 EMA extension still is. So yes, it's a nice
All right.
short opportunity
So
for more.
yes. So it's a cool setup, right? Like it's just pretty self-explanatory. The 4 EMA is a very short moving average. Very short that if you are away from it, most likely you're gonna head towards it, right? So a lot of times even trading sideways, it gets there. A lot of times it just straight up let's see, let's look for an example. It'll straight up come down to touch it at least, right? Let's say this candle open right here and ended up being extended from the 4 and it can head down towards the that area as well. And just look at the extension right here. It's just a tight EMA that it makes sense that it's extended, right? The prices don't stay extended for a longest period of time. So either the 4 EMA catches up right here or the candle catches down right here, right? So yes, and it's still a good short below this candle, meaning that there's a gap right here and it can fill.
Yeah. There's also another question that that you struggle to where to enter. So for that, what I use is, for example, if you go to 10 minutes, and of course if you see that 10 minute, we can at least to see what is the some support and resistance levels there. Can you just?
Yes, can I chart it right here?
Yeah,
Yes.
like this, you can put it. So you take in consideration what was the range
Of the pre-market,
of the pre-market,
this high to this
and
low.
yeah, and the best place to get a short is on the lower around that area with the combination of even 13 13 cross, or even better, a 1350 EMA cross to the downside. So if you can put on some example, where would that be? And
this is the 4 and the 13.
4 and the 13. So, and confirmation, I will like I will wait for a cross 450 or and then a candle, the candle below the 4 and the 50, and then go short.
Go from there.
Oh.
So when did the short happen? I think,
I call it at around at 2 minutes after the open.
okay,
So what I did is I waited for that first candle and I call it on the gap. I mean on the top of the first candle.
okay. So in a lot of the plays, we actually
A-
had a few members
Yeah,
that they hit 20, 25%, I mean, 20,
and
30%, and
yeah, and also very importantly, when I take place at the open, I'm just looking for the first move, right? I mean 20-30%, whatever it gives me. And then I sell most of it or all of it, and then I look for a setup. Another good way to get a short is wait for the first 3 candles, 30 minutes, and chart your trend. And on a trend break, you get a short, right? So you can, for example, explain there. We have the first, the second, the third. We're on a range. In this case, the first 3 candles we had a range. So
it
you
broke out of
get,
this.
yeah,
This was calling for, if you guys see this ended up being like a bear trap right here. Because this confirms a lot of the downside. You broke out of this pre-market low. And you're looking, you're confirming a candle close on the 10 minutes. Let's see on the 15 minutes as well. Let's see on the 30 minutes, not on the 30 minutes. So up to the 15 minutes, right? The more time frames you get, the more confirmation you get, right? So at least a 10-minute is good enough. This one went all the way to 15-minute candle confirmation, close below right here. So this will actually call out to drop even further. It didn't. So nothing is gonna work 100%. And if you can spot this, and this ends up being a good old bull trap, right? I mean bear trap, a good old bear trap right here. And essentially, I mean, like I said, this goes back up. You have actually, when if this was to trend down, you get from the last high to last low. Once you cross at least a 618 or this candle high, you're wrong. You know, you have to get out. That's it. No more trade on this right here. So
uh,
yeah, this end up being, because I mean, look at this low right here. You candle confirm right here. You actually bait people off the break right here, right? It's like a double whammy. You actually bait people on the short right here. And then you kind of close below it. Now this time, for a second time, now it looks like a good old confirmation, and then boom, rip back up to the upside.
I just got lost. So what exactly you were meaning about NQ or SPX, no light? Or so I just got it. Okay, but anyway, that was the explanation on another way to take a short in that example is when it breaks the uptrend, right? If you put the first uptrend there, Q of the first green candles.
Yes, right here.
No, on the
Oh,
first 4, 5 candles before before the
okay, I get it. I get it.
before the reversal. You have a trend there. You have a trend break confirmation. You take a short on the low of the first candle that make the confirmation on that low
Yeah,
wick. You
yeah,
take it there
and then short.
and
Yeah,
you get it short.
that's a steep parabolic trend. Break of the trend, and then you're looking to short. Obviously, like this is gonna give you some percentage, some good old percentage gains, at least some 40% on some weeklies, right? But it's not gonna give you the 1,000%, right? But there's plays always on the market like this. I'll tell you something about my failed play today. Rivian. Oops, it's RIVN, right? Okay. I'll tell you something about my failed play today. On Rivian. Rivian has an inside candle, right? You break the low. So most of the time, once you break the low of the inside candle, you head towards if you break the high, you head towards this high. You break the low, you head towards this low. That was the ultimate target. We go down here, we broke the low. I went in, I saw like what, 10% or something like this, and didn't go back up anymore. So they don't work 100% of the time. The target was something like this. It did not go, might go tomorrow. I didn't even sell it. So we'll see, right? We'll see how it goes from there. It's good to go from the failed trades, right? And let's talk about a cool trade that we had today. We had basically also an inside candle on Costco right here. From the outside below the 20, opens above the 20 EMA, above the inside and the outside candle range, and it's go time for the bullseye, right? We took some 480 calls, and this thing just went ballistic on us at the open. We've got some cool 300% on that right here. So that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Like I said, and is 2 minutes too long? Yes, don't use 2 minute charts, guys. It's gonna play with your emotions a lot. I use 5 minutes, and even Alfonso doesn't like 5 minutes. Alfonso is up to from no less than 10 minutes.
I mean,
But
the reason
minutes,
is the market is not going anywhere, guys. I mean, it's like no 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes. I mean, yes, you might probably, but if you really have a good setup and you really see that it's a break on certain levels, it's better to wait for confirmation of a bigger time frame, like 10 minutes, because the odds of being wrong are more or less than 5 minutes, right?
let me
Look at 2
respond that.
minutes, you have a lot of reversals and fakes on 1 to 5 minutes candles, right?
Let me respond that answer from that question from Babushka boy. Aren't you risking too much of a loss with higher time frame? No, my friend, actually you're looking at more rewards with a higher time frame. Your loss is limited to whatever you put in, right? On options to whatever you put in, on your, if you're going more than your maximum risk and your positioning, you're not risking. If you have bad positioning, yes, you're risking more, right? But I'm just gonna walk you through an example right here. Like I'm just gonna go with the some trades that we did today, right? This is a 10-minute candles. We see the first drop and negation of this move right here. So we take this candle high to this candle low, right? Right here. It was, let me see. Let me see real quick. I think was it this low? Hold on real quick. I don't remember what trade we did. I think it was this trade. Yes. So we took this trade, right? We took a 10-minute retracement. There's two candles. We had consolidation right here. We ended up dropping from here. We started retracing. We reached a 618. We went short right here. We got a cool 100% all the way to 3850 right here. 3850 is a big level, by the way. You guys want to put on your charts. It's a big level. And we got a cool 100 and something percent of SPX right here.
140.
And,
yeah.
and if you go to the 1 minute, you're gonna see these retracements playing a lot. And I haven't seen the 1 minute chart of today, but I'm just gonna go with this right here. With this right here. Let's say that you seen this pump, you seen this drop. You start going with your retracement. You see the 50% retracement, you decide to join in some puts, you get some puts, there'll be gains. But you're looking at very few points compared to the other side of the map where you were looking at a bigger drop right here, right? So the higher the time frames, the higher the profits are you're gonna get. And it's just a better outlook, right? You're in a trade or something like that, and you start, to me, on a 10-minute candle, this all looks like it was just a drop. And right here, where you'll be looking at like, oh, it's coming down, oh, it's coming up, oh, it's coming down, oh, it's coming up, oh, it's coming down, it's coming up, and she's just all over the place. So, yeah, I don't really go for the low time frames. It says, Fredo, if you believe the SPX will move like that, then take a starter and set a tie stop loss. That way you are in the play,
Yes,
and you're wrong, take a minimal loss, or SPY.
or play spy if you don't have the stomach to handle some range. I mean, because you have to understand, if you're playing SPX, you are dealing with a 3,800 underline that 10 points is nothing, right? So probably you don't have the patience or the stomach or the account size to be playing SPX. In that case, play Spice instead.
We might go over internals next week, Alfonso. What do you think? Because we got like 10, 15 minutes,
Yes, no.
and we can just look at some setups for tomorrow instead. We used a lot the strat and the scanner that we have right there. Well, let me see what looks like a good strat combo for tomorrow. Let me look at some names. Tesla is on the shooter hammer 2D, 2 down, 2 up reversal.
Do you have it on updated? Because I don't see this updated. I don't know.
Yes.
June 23rd. Oh, yes, I have it here. To the downside, you're seeing the bearish or which one?
No, right here to the upside.
Oh,
So what we have right here, it's 2 down, 2 up, reversal bullish. So let's look at Tesla real quick. Let me do a new one. All right. So according to let's see, we have the one up right here. 2 down, 2 up. So we're looking at this pattern right here is that above this high, you can head towards this high right here. Very simple. So Tesla right here on this S scenario, above 718.26 can head towards this candle high right here, according to the strat, right? That thing is 100% short. So that's a lot of points. So roughly 20, 21 points or so from 718.26 to 740. And if that breaks, then I'll be looking at something like trend line right here. And if that breaks, I'll be looking at the 50 on the daily, which it'll be a little too crazy. Let's look at how big, let's say that tomorrow is a big candle on Tesla. So a range like a big candle will be looking something like this. So yeah, it's not crazy to hit the 50. Is if Tesla has a crazy upside day, a big bullish day like this, you can actually hit towards the 50 EMA, which is 773.44. So notes for tomorrow for Tesla, if the day is bullish, Tesla, let's just put right here, if the day is bullish, and we'll know with the pre-market action, we'll know if they were up the last swing low and everything. Tesla, just gonna go above 719, which is gonna give it a little bit of headroom, and obviously we're gonna need some 10 minutes or 15 minutes candles to close above it. 17 can head towards 740. Pass Wednesday high, room towards daily 50 EMA. Boom. Simple as that. Obviously, be objective. There's no such thing like a sure thing is gonna get there or whatever. There's a lot of levels in between, right? There's just a lot of levels in between on the daily, and then go from there, right? I don't have a bearish setup right here, but I mean, you can actually play those levels right here. This candle low, which is near close, this candle low right here. That's good. This candle low right here. So just go from there, right? So the big level to be above that, it'll be something like this, right? So hope that helps for Tesla traders tomorrow. A lot of traders, because Tesla is such a lot of trade, does not have a lot of moves on Fridays, statistically speaking, and everybody that has that knows, right? Let's see it. Chewy. Let's look at Chewy. Oh, big day on Chewy. I didn't even notice. Why do I have an alert all the way over here? um, let's see intraday. Mm, it's a big level on Chewy right here. Let's see. You are
That is gonna be a nice short tomorrow.
if you notice, Chewy is coming up. You see this white line? And I haven't charted Chewy in a long time, right? This white line is a big resistance or big support before. It's a big resistance. So above it can go pretty much more ballistic, putting deleting this whole move right here, putting all the shorts in chains in trouble. But if it doesn't go above it, it's a very nice short into and some EMAs right here, right? Some EMAs right here, some support right here, probably this level right here, 38.62. Right. That was a big level right here, I'm sure. So we do have like a break of the weekly downtrend, if you notice. This is a weekly. There was a little bridge right here, but I still kept my line. If you want, you can adjust the line to reflect that low and you're still trading higher than that. But if you notice also, not only that white line that I have right here is the biggest support resistance, you also have the weekly 20 EMA right here. Does Chewy react with the weekly 20? I will say so, yes. I will say so somewhat. I will say so, yes. I will say so, yes. I will say so, yes, yes. So I will, yes, use that weekly 20 on Chewy. So being long past this is probably danger. But kudos to you for being long into this breakout. There's a clear textbook breakout on the daily for this downtrend right here. Actually, yeah, don't include this high right here. This downtrend right here, and you can see clear where it head to. All in hindsight, right? Let's look at another some anybody. Actually, let's take some ideas on everybody that wants to. Does anybody sees any potential setup for fighter or something that we can take a look at? Daily news bullish. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Folks, GLG, I don't like any of those. Intel.
Goldman Sachs.
And TGX, WBD, WFC, Goldman Sachs. All right. Let me chart this clean. All right, I like this chart better. All right, Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, we have a structural base right here. This is what we call in the VIP room a magic box. And we bounce it hard today. I would say that V-shaped recovery off the lows on it, on all of the financials, in fact. And I would say that above this high, you start trading above this high, you have essentially room towards this, and let's see where that trend line is coming from. Is an old trend line. Let me look at it on the weekly. Yeah, I will still use it. I'll still use this trend line. Not so convinced, really. Not very convinced on it. But I think this got potential, but because of the whole magic box thing, but this candle opening right here doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy right here. Because it could totally just reach this point and no more, and still be within the box. Had to keep an eye on that, right? Also this trend line. Possibly this trend line is trash.
Nike.
Let's do Nike real quick. All right. Big engulfing candle. Big support right here. You guys can see. It got breached sometime, I guess. A lot of selling, I guess, one day of a gap down. Big support right here. We do have somewhat of a trend line right here that is getting breached. It got breached. I'm sorry, it got breached. So you're looking at these levels right here, possibly. This right here. This right here. This right here. This right here. Obviously, this is too much, right? Because Nike can go as just as far as it has earnings coming up soon. Market is up a lot of the times optimistic into earnings. So there's a big possibility of this. I will say like, let's take a look at the hourly real quick. Okay.
Mm.
Nike needs to be somewhere around above this highs. You
And
know,
you can play along on a break on high today's highs.
today's highs, we'll take it somewhere around this area. If it breaks this area, could get towards this area, very clear. This is like a no-brainer from here. From here, because you see all the box ranges go right here. I like it. Could be a nice move for a lot of Friday. We'll see. I will put this on a B setup, not an A plus setup. Let's look at, I'm interested on AMD lately. Okay. Magic box right here. Basically a range. Had to break outside this range to get towards this.
Target for what?
This is
For target for Nike or target the underline?
the underline. Today went parabolic. I saw it. I kind of missed it, but to be honest, it still looks good for a little more downside. It's a little bit tricky situation, guys, because if you notice what happens in the past, this thing kind of rejects from the downtrend at the 50%. It has been placing every time it places a green candle, has been met by another two selling candles, green candle, selling candle, right? You have to be very specific right here. You know, there's a big level. You see this candle high right here. This candle, I mean, this candle low, this candle high. Support right here. Support resistance right here. Okay, those are some good levels. Right here as well. Okay. So trading above this area right here, this one I like the best. It looks like people will call it a pivot point. I just think it's a bigger considerable support area above 147.17. Obviously with some candle confirmations on a higher time frames, 10 minutes or whatever, this can actually head towards something like this. Can have something like this. Right? So we're gonna keep an eye on target tomorrow. I like that for the watch list. Well, 148. Possible target. The upside. 151. 151. Then daily 20. I'm sorry, EMA. All right, I like that. I like that. It looks good. We'll see how target goes. I think target is part of the, correct me if I'm wrong, but part of the consumer discretionary. It is. Target is right here, part of the consumer discretionary. So when looking at something like that, you want to look at XLY and judge for yourself if XLY has room. And the market kind of tells me it's inside this magic box as well, this range, which obviously just gonna place this support resistance, and it can head towards the daily 20 right here. So this resistance right here. Right here. So we have basically made like a trend line break right here. Consolidation right here. We have like what people call head and shoulders. We have little shoulders right here and a little head right here. And XLY, what we look for is for it to break the neckline, which is this resistance right here. And guess what? If that happens with this consumer discretionary, Tesla and Target are gonna ramp up. All right. If it makes sense. Yeah, I agree, Victor. I agree. AMD is one of the very good plays. McDonald's. Somebody mentioned McDonald's. McDonald's play already happened. Alfonso nailed that off of this candle. Made 2 straight green days like this. Can possibly have continuation. We're stuck between the 50 and the 20 with this big resistance right here underneath it. Have to be above it. And remember, like sometimes levels don't mean shit, right? We do have some trading action above this level, but I'm guessing that was for a very few. Nah, yeah, not a lot of time. Possibly hourly candles are gonna be your friend. Ooh, what happened to my chart? I don't know when McDonald's is doing this. I cannot see the prior days. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. So yeah, target looks good above that resistance right here. To head towards the next one, but you have to watch out XLY for that. Any new suggestion before we finish? Or questions? Like we couldn't go over internals. We couldn't go over the I guess other questions that we had, but we have mapped out futures, and I think I'm gonna put just a picture of the NQ's levels, which is you have to add levels to this, by the way. This is not just straight from one into the next. I'm just gonna add this right here. All right, it's added right there for anybody to use that if you want. For Tesla, we're just gonna add this right here. Why did I put that box? I think it was just the range. All right, we're gonna go to target. And that's all the plays that we have for now. Risk management, guys. A lot of Fridays are for not putting more than you're willing to lose.
Can we explain
Actually, let me put this on the daily. I'm
Can
sorry.
we explain very quick how the tick? Can you explain tick one more time on how to use it?
Okay, we're gonna have a more in-depth on the tick on the internals later, but I'll give you a quick runabout. Okay, right here. All right, the tick chart. Basically, on the tick chart, you're gonna be looking for how many candles closes you have on the 15-minute time frame at least about the zero line or below the zero line to indicate what is stronger or what's not. You're also gonna look for so like say like in this area there was more strong buying than selling, and this was area was more strong selling than buying, and this area more buying than selling, and that's how the market did, right? It went boom, 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 right? So you're also gonna look for trends. A lot of times you can see the tick trending down before the S&P starts trending down. So you're gonna be looking like a divergence, right? The buying is trending down when the S&P is going up still. It means that the buying is getting less strong and less strong as it goes. The you can see as well right here, the selling is start trending up right here. It means that the selling is getting less strong and less strong, coming into possibly a divergence, reversal, and whatnot. You're also gonna look for 600 plus or 700 minus and more and greater for stronger indications of buying and selling. So anything above this is a stronger buying, and anything below this is a stronger selling. So so what you have right here is that if you are on an important level and you break it with a very mild tick, it's not a strong breakout, right? You have to be breaking it with a strong tick, I'm sorry. As well as the downside, right? You break downward, you have to do it on a strong tick to determine if it was a good level to break out or not. And that's basically it. Just for you people that don't know what the tick is, you can find it on Thinkorswim like this. It's basically the heartbeat of the market, tells you how many not how many, I'm sorry, the strong buying or selling that there is, right? It's basically a range, right? That you have right here. All right. So that's what basically, right? This any internals include, and most importantly, the tick, what makes you good at it is looking at it for hours and hours and hours and see the correlation between the market and this, right? It's the heartbeat. It's like if you're looking at the heart of the market right here. How's the beat doing, you know? Beating hard to either side, right? Beating high on the sell side. And remember, 1,900 ticks. So around this area and around this area this is super strong buying and super strong selling, but no buyer and no seller is rushing into get into positions. Probably a noob trader, right? But if you're finding a key position to get into a trade, you're not rushing into it, right? You're hitting it with a limit order or something. When you hit those extreme levels, it's basically the opposite. Basically, a big positive level right here means that shorts are getting squeezed out, you know. There's a short squeeze element. Stops are getting hit, making them market buy their orders for shorts, and essentially right here, market sell the orders for longs, right? They're hitting their stops at those levels and whatnot. So a rough explanation of the tick, it requires a lot of time, a lot of hours, and looking at the internals is a whole idea, right? It's this whole screen that I also put it along with this indicator right here, which is the unweighted on the weighted sectors, but do not have time to explain that today. We'll explain it later. This is a very useful tool for trading the SPX. And a lot of our trades are based off of this, right? Volatility, ADD, ADSPD, DXY, bold, breadth, thick, right here. Alfredo, it says, yes, popping. Thank you for the alert, my friend. It went above the monthly level as per we talk about. So it's gonna go ballistic for a little while. Right? This level is just such important to break. All right. We do have a one last request, ABBB. AV has been super strong. We have it close above the 50 right here. This 150.31 is a big level of resistance. I think if you manage to have a daily candle close above it, you can go by listing into the 153.76 or so. So this can go. You got to combine AV with a XLB. Your healthcare sectors, you close above the 20 on it. You are, let me see, above the 618 retracement. That's cool. XLB actually has room towards the 50 EMA on the daily right here. So healthcare has room. That makes XLB have room right here. All right. So for my watch list, I'm gonna put watch XLB names. XLB names, when you see something like that, you're gonna be looking at ABB, UNH, J&J, PFE, you know, all the good stuff, right? All the good stuff. Because right now, healthcare is popping. It's looking good. All right. Anything that you want to say, Alfonso? Because I am done.
No, sir. I think that we're over our time, and just want to thank you for joining us today. And we're gonna have a workshop on internals only that
Yeah.
will be
Next time we
announcing.
do a chart session on some stocks real quick, and then we go on internals for the rest of it. I hope everybody like it. Join us on the VIP if you're there, if you like it. Thanks for showing up this late. It's not late for me, and I'll hope to see you guys tomorrow. Get ready for a lot of Friday. Don't put no more than you're willing to lose. Hope it was a great charting session, and you guys got all your levels mapped out.
Thank you, guys. Adios.
I don't know if it's VIP open tomorrow. Join us. It's only 100 a month. Trials for one, and you'll see. If you
We're
don't
gonna
like it,
be
don't
we
get
got
in the next one.
we're gonna be streaming for at least I think an hour and a half tomorrow.
We're gonna at least be an hour. Yeah,
11 Central Time.
11
See you
Central.
tomorrow, guys. Take care.
Latest. Have a good night, everyone.
Adios.
Adios.